Import Exchange International.
Greetings, folks. We're here at the end of 2025 with our good friend, Mr. Milton Howard. Milton, thank you so much for coming today and visiting.
You are so welcome.
And thank you also for coming and sharing some ideas with us. You know, we really appreciate that input. Milton has come in with a few suggestions, and we'll be getting back to you on all that. But Milton, why don't you share a few thoughts about Hammond organs? And he knows a lot about these organs, and he's a music minister, and he's just a real pleasure and full of knowledge. So share with us a little bit.
Well, first of all, I think appreciate the opportunity to share. All the newer, I would say they call them Hammond clones. For some reason, they've been able to clone the Rhodes, the DX7 sounds, and put those onto all the major keyboards. Mm-hmm. Nord is your granddaddy of them all now, and so their new Hammond organ clone still hasn't reached the nuances of what an actual Hammond organ with a Leslie 122 Leslie can do, because first of all, the sound is traveling being processed by tubes. And I remember when they first came out with some of the solid state sounds, and something that you mentioned, you have musicians that have preferences.
Sure. And
some people might prefer a certain tone. But when it comes to a live audience, an authentic Hammond B3, Hammond C3 can reach nuances that manufacturers haven't been able to copy yet.
They sure have tried hard, though, haven't they?
They have. Not only have they tried, they have spent quite a bit of money. But the fact that this has literal tone wheels, because essentially what you're doing is you're pulling sound out the air versus sound through electricity.
Interesting.
And
I thought of it like that.
It will never compare. So you have. It was a clockmaker that developed the Hammond organ tones, and so
Mr. Hammond.
Right.
Yeah.
You had these spinning wheels, and they have what they call a rod that goes through the organ, and so as these wheels spin, depending on the distance from this little rod, it gives a certain tone, and what they have been able to do, because you got to count everything in. You can program harmonics into a newer Hammond organ clone, but when you're pulling it from a literal environment, literal air, and that rod picking up those little notches to create the tones, you have harmonics. And so they had the brilliance to have drawbars where you can mix in those harmonics into the tone, which essentially is impossible to create.
They keep trying.
But they keep trying. But you can come close. But side by side, the tone is legendary. Hammond organs, if you go to any major jazz band, any major rock band, any major church or gospel, any major television show, American Idol, The Voice.
Mm-hmm. There's always a B3.
There's always a B3 on the stage, and as heavy as this thing can be, which now, if you got the dollars, you can move them pretty easy.
Oh, yeah, and if you have the road crew.
Right.
But if you're going to put it in one spot and leave it there, you're golden.
Yeah, and they would rather do that than to carry...
To get the real sound.
Right, to get the real sound.
Yeah.
Than to carry a keyboard. Which, yeah, they are lighter. Mm-hmm. But they'd rather put this on stage and put it in the truck and ride down the road.
I've said
with the
many
organ.
times how much I appreciate the major manufacturers that produce clones, as you call them,
Right.
of a Hammond organ, because portability is a factor for musicians who are, weekend musicians, and you can also save a little money going that direction. But ultimately, if you just want to leave something in one spot in your church or your studio or your home, Marvin Gaye sang it best when he sang, "There's nothing like the real thing," or ain't nothing like the real thing.
Yeah, that's a fact. And so the genius of this, and I want to mention something else with all the drawbars. So you have your 4 basic drawbars, and then this is where you pick up the lower tones. But based on the amount of tone wheels, and then the options for the drawbars. So all of your modern synthesizers, where they have oscillators and you can adjust tones, all of that came from how the organ operated.
Okay.
And so a lot of instruments are developed out of the idea of how you can adjust the tone of the Hammond organ.
Why don't you let us hear some of those nuances you mentioned,
Right.
with your wonderful playing skills.
All right. So right now I have just two drawbars, actually one pulled out, and then one halfway, and then you can pick up some of the nuances. For example, if you're in a worship situation, and pick up those really soft tones. But then as you want to move to a stronger feel, you can just start adding in tones. Soft to strong, and everything in between.
Thank you, Milton Howard. Thanks for watching our video, and thank you also for helping keep the Hammond Tone Wheel B3 organ alive. We couldn't do all this work that we do here without you. And it would also help greatly if you could subscribe, like, ask for notifications for when we have new videos. That would be a big help for us. So we thank you once again. I'm signing off for now, but we will be back.